Welcome back, my friends. If you follow this channel, you already know that layoffs at Google are the 800-pound gorilla in the room. All of the news speculating that Google will soon have layoffs is starting to cause concern among Google employees. Yesterday, Google CEO Sundar Pichai faced live questions from a large group of Google employees. And it was not pretty. In other videos, I have reported that Google recently overhauled its employee performance evaluation system. Word on the street is that top management has ordered 6% of Google employees to get a failing grade. That seems to suggest that Google will have a 6% layoff, or around 10,000 people. But there has been no formal announcement so far. And it is the holiday season and not a good time to announce layoffs. Unless you are Elon Musk, that is. Signs seem to point to a sizable layoff at Google in January. Is Google using recession fears to clean house? Google has been under pressure for about a year now. Google stock is down 30% in the past year. The United States economy is teetering on the brink of recession. And corporate ad spending is plummeting. Google is more at risk than most people think. And because of that, practically everyone is now waiting for the other shoe to drop regarding layoffs. We cover this topic closely on this channel. That is because this is the subject of the most widely viewed videos on this channel. I know everyone is waiting to hear updated information about Google, and I will keep you updated. What does it mean for big tech companies? What does it mean for the economy? And what does it mean for the future of the United States? But before we get into all of that, please press the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Google's CEO won't promise layoffs aren't coming. There was yet another, even more tense all-hands inside Google. Google employees once again pushed CEO Sundar Pichai to comment on the possibility of layoffs. His response was that it's tough to predict the future. Google employees have been worried about layoffs for a while. Pretty much every technology company has announced layoffs. Add to that a whole bunch of media companies. And some retail companies. As well as some car companies. Really, all of the search giants' peers in big tech have cut jobs. The recent weeks and months have been ruthless on tech employees. If you follow this channel, you know that Google has been cutting costs. It chopped its business incubator called Area 120 in half. And, also recently, Google merged Google Maps with Waze, another huge mapping app. If you ask me, that is something that they should have done long ago. By now, you probably know that Google overhauled its employee performance evaluation system. Google employees raised concerns over the new performance tool. It is named GRAD. GRAD is designed to give employees a more consistent flow of feedback on their performance. Google employees are not buying it. Performance reviews are probably top of mind for many in the tech industry. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is ordering managers to classify more employees as low performers than before. Naturally, all of this is stoking fears of more cuts to come. Google is finally facing slower growth. And the adjustment to the new reality is getting off to a rocky start. Google is dealing with the uncomfortable new realities of slowing growth and cost cutting. And there is a lot of employee dissent over the cultural changes associated with this unfamiliar economic terrain. CEO Sundar Pichai is pretty much constantly being put on the defensive. 2 weeks ago, Pichai delivered a shocking speech at the Vox Code conference in Los Angeles. In the speech, he said that Google needs to become 20% more productive. But he did not give details at the time, and it is still somewhat vague. Many Google observers are interpreting this to mean that Google is going to have a 20% layoff. Pichai spent the Friday all-hands-on-deck meeting answering employee questions about the cost-cutting measures. The fact that we are being a bit more responsible through one of the toughest macroeconomic conditions underway in the past decade, continued Pichai. I think it's important that as a company, we pull together to get through moments like this, Pichai added. Ever since his speech at the Vox Code conference, most of the news has been about layoffs in big tech. Especially at Google and Meta. Tech companies of all sizes are facing economic challenges like never before in their histories. The United States economy is teetering on the brink of recession. Inflation is raging. The Federal Reserve is aggressively raising interest rates to fight inflation. And most importantly, corporate marketers have cut ad budgets dramatically. Add to that the fact that there is increased competition from TikTok for these fewer ad dollars. So Google is definitely and suddenly swimming in unfamiliar waters. For almost 20 years now, working at Google was synonymous in abundance of fun employee perks. Now, and maybe for the first time, Google employees are seeing how the other 99% lives. Google reported Q2 financial results in July, and it was not pretty. Earnings and revenue missed Wall Street expectations by a lot, and for the second consecutive quarter now. Wall Street analysts now expect annualized sales growth to be in the single digits. And that is down from 40% in the third quarter of last year. Basically, this means that growth at Google, to the extent that it exists anymore, is pretty pedestrian and no better than average public companies. Lots of CEOs have blamed deteriorating macroeconomic conditions for disappointing earnings in Q2. Pichai also used that excuse. Pichai told the Vox Code conference that Google needs to become 20% more productive. During the meeting, Pichai was asked directly whether he is intending to have a 20% layoff. Employees said that all of the discussion regarding potential layoffs degrade their ability to focus on work. So, it is starting to sound as though Google is trying to make as many cuts as possible as secretly as possible. With slowing revenue growth and increased competition for fewer ad dollars, it is like more and bigger dogs fighting for a shrinking bowl of food. But, there are a lot of forces at work that complicate the situation. Wall Street analysts are saying that the United States is headed into a white-collar recession. That means it is a recession in employment growth, income and job security for so-called professional workers. Actually, it is not just happening in tech companies, it is happening in other industries where they're highly skilled employees. The external macroeconomic pressures are definitely a negative force. Many outside observers are saying that Google is basically using this as an excuse to clean house. Google has over 150,000 employees. But its stock is down 27% since the start of the year. Shareholder pressure is mounting on Google. Up until now, if a Google employee was unhappy in their job, they could just go get a new job offer from either Meta or Apple. Now practically all tech companies have slowed or stopped hiring. There's definitely a sense of, wait, there may not be a chair at another tech company if the music stops here, said one Google employee. The dynamics of the tech industry have basically turned upside down. Employees used to have the upper hand over their employers. Not so anymore. This is probably the most significant turn of events in the tech sector has seen since the dot-com bust in the early 2000s. In a cynical way, that Google employee mused, even if management's talk about productivity doesn't amount to more actual efficiency, it is effectively working to get workers to stop pushing for more benefits, said a Google employee. These austerity measures demonstrate to Wall Street that Google is serious about its stock performance. I do believe that smart companies take opportunities and make unpopular decisions, said former Google executive Keval Desai. But implementing these unpopular decisions is easier said than done. You cannot just demand that employees work harder and it magically happens. Some Google employees blame executives for reducing productivity by not giving teams clearer focus. There is that fear that people aren't working hard enough, but what I see is a lot of people working hard with unclear business priorities, said a Google employee. Maybe they're not making the best business decisions, but they don't know that, continued the employee. For example, Google cannot seem to figure out whether it wants to prioritize its hardware products. Google seemed to be moving forward with developing its next Pixelbook laptop product until it canceled the latest planned release and disbanded the team working on it earlier this month, The Verge reported. Google is now shifting its focus to artificial intelligence. Google just cut half of the projects in its research lab called Area 120. But, what do you think? Please leave us a comment below and hit the like button. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Please share this video on social media. Thank you for watching.